Have you ever heard of that word before, undefined? Maybe you have, you forget what it is. Okay, here's what you got to think of with when you hear this term in a problem. Denominator, which is what, top or bottom of a fraction? Bottom. You think denominator equals, anybody want to finish it if you know what that means? Denominator has to equal 0. If you have your graphing calculators, let's get them out. And type in, right now, type in any number and divide it by 0 and let me know what happens. What's happening to everybody's calculator? Error, right? Because you can't divide by 0. That makes the fraction undefined when you have a 0 in the denominator. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to go through these 4 problems, and I need to know from you guys, what number could I plug in for x that gets the whole denominator equal to 0? Okay? Easy way we're going to do it. Here we go. Number 1. What makes that fraction undefined? You take what's in the denominator. Tell me, what's in the denominator right now? X squared. I take whatever's in the denominator and I set it equal to, what do I want it to equal to? 0. And now we'll see how your algebra skills are up to task. How do I get x by itself? I didn't think this was too bad. How do I get rid of a square?
Square root.
Take the square root. Everyone remember that? Take the square root on both sides. Yep. So for this one, this fraction will be undefined when x equals square root of 0. Now you're going to hate to hear this word from me, but I need it done. I need it done. We're going to check this. Okay, we're going to check this on the calculator to see really if it's undefined. So what do we think is our answer? What do we think is our answer? 0. So we're going to go to the calculator right now. We're going to take what we think is the answer, 0. You guys ever use this button to the left of the one, store key? We're going to use that a ton this year. It's going to get you past the Regents exam. Trust me. Store. We're going to take whatever we think the answer is, store it in for x. You know how to pull up an x? We know how to pull up an x. Enter. And then you're going to go back to the original fraction, type it in, and we better get an error message. Okay, because that'll be undefined. So you guys, this drives me nuts every year that your teachers never told you this. Do you know how to get a fraction up? Alpha y equals, or maybe a different way. I do alpha y equals, get the fraction up there. And then I type in 5 over x squared, and it's going to plug in 0, and I should get, hopefully, there we go. It's undefined when your answer is 0. So I got the correct answer. If you get an actual value out, that's not a correct answer. Okay? So that worked. All right, next one. What's in the denominator for this one? 2. What's in the denominator here?
X minus 6.
Yep. And I want to know when it's equal to 0 for being undefined. Can you help me solve that for x? I hope. X equals
6.
Okay, what am I calling on anybody? 6. Yep. And we'll skip over checking this one because I think we're pretty confident that when I do 6 minus 6, it gives me 0. Right? All right, we'll check the next 2 here. All good? Don't even sniff the numerator. I don't even look up there. I could put a happy face up there. It doesn't matter. Okay? I could put some Greek letters up there. It doesn't matter. You only worry about the denominator when it asks for undefined. Speaking of denominators, what is it for number 3? 10. What's my denominator here?
X squared plus x minus 1.
Good. And I want to know when that is equal to 0. Oh, here we go. And this is where the last 2 days comes into play now. All right. The only way I'm solving for x, I have x squared and an x. The only way I'm solving for it, you've got to factor that now. Here's where the last 2 days come into play, and I don't have time to say, oh, hey, how many terms? What's the method? What are your numbers? All right, let's roll. It's time to roll. Let's go. Hop on. Hop on or get off. I got a factor, x squared plus x minus 20. Yep, two numbers that do this and do this. Yep, yep. Ho, 6. Got my two numbers here that multiply to this and add to this. Multiply to what?
1. Or negative 4.
And add to?
1.
So you better start thinking about numbers that multiply to 20 that are 1 apart.
5 and 4.
Okay, now I need signs for it to be a positive one.
5 and negative 4.
Everyone good on the factoring? You set it equal to 0. Now I go back to your Algebra 1 days as a freshman. Now you take each parenthesis, set it equal to 0. Remember these days? Maybe you drew a line down. I don't know. X plus 5 equals 0. What's the value of x? X minus 4 equals 0. What's the value of x? So you should have two answers here. 2. Here we go. 10. X plus 5 equals 0. What's your value of x?
5.
How do you move the 5 over? Okay, so what's my answer? What? Negative 5. There's one possible answer. And what about another possible answer? 15 on the bottom here. If x minus 4 equals 0, x equals 4, maybe. All right, hit up your calculator now. Let's take negative 5, store it in for x. Easy way to know if you're right or wrong. You know, Jane just gave me that 5. She plugs in 5 in the calculator. She's going to get an answer, not an error. Okay? So something went wrong. Make sure you type in the whole fraction, just not the denominator. And hopefully you get that error message for negative 5 and 4. Any helps? Need any help storing it in here? Okay, let's start with negative 5. So you take negative 5, store x, enter, and now type in that original fraction. So alpha y equals 2x minus 5 over x squared plus x minus 20. Cross your fingers, you get an error message.
Okay, why not the 4?
What's that?
Why not do the 4?
Well, you could do either one, but you can't do both at the same time.
Okay.
You got to do one at a time. You got to store in one, do it, and then store in the other. Yeah, the store key can only have one number at a time. Everyone all right? Checking? It's huge. Undefined, when's it equal to 0? Ready to go to the last one? All right, this one's a little tougher. They grow in difficulty. 14, what's my denominator?
X cubed minus 16x.
When is it equal to 0 if I'm asking for undefined? Don't try anything. Don't start making new math on me here. X cubed, and there's a minus 16x. You look to factor. Okay, we look to factor. What's your first move?
GCF.
Yeah, your first move every time is always to look for a GCF, and there is. What is that GCF here? 9?
X.
Yeah, what's left?
X squared minus 16.
Good job. And I don't know where we are. I don't know if we're at this point. Do you see you have to factor again? I can't see that for you. Right? Do you see from past talk that what's in the parenthesis can be factored again? So guess what? We got to keep factoring. All right? You're not going to be able to do anything with this. We got to keep factoring. X squared minus 16. What are we thinking? 1?
I don't know.
What do you know about the number 16?
You can square it and get it.
Oh, it's a perfect square, right? And there's a minus inside it. So what's the 16 change into?
4.
And what do we know about the signs when we do this method?
They switch.
Yep, one's plus, one's minus. Difference of two perfect squares, still all equal to? How many answers we gonna have here? 3? I only got 2 parentheses though. What did we take out at the beginning? That's an answer. You have to take the GC, not just the parentheses, but you also have to take whatever you had as a GCF equal to 0. X plus 4 equal to 0. Solve it. What's my answer going to be there? What's my answer going to be here when I move over the 4? -4. And then where's my third answer come from? What's my final answer going to be then? Let's hear it from 8. 4. Remember, if you take a GCF out, it still also has to set that equal to 0. And then if we checked it, yep, it's all 3 answers are going to produce a error message on my calculator. Any questions, comments? We got one more thing here to do today. We had undefined, and then I got one more here. Any questions? Check your darn answers, please. It takes seconds. You guys type on your calculator like you're texting. It takes seconds. All right, before I move on, we're going to take a trip back to elementary school. And the teacher said, could you please reduce this for me? 10/16, reduce it for me. What would you have done? It said reduce it. And you reduce a fraction back in the day. What's our go-to here? Just had snack, ready to go out to recess, good times. How do you reduce a fraction? Anybody remember?
Divide the numerator and denominator by the same number.
Take a number, preferably a big number, and divide both of them. So I think, 2 here? So 2 into 10, 5, 2 into 16, 8, there it is. Are you aware your calculator does it automatically for you? Are you aware of that? If you're not, here you go. 10/16. You put it into an actual fraction. So you get a fraction out, 10, 16, and boom, it'll do it for you. So please do that. Okay, please do that upcoming, especially if you're not sure how to reduce. The only thing it doesn't reduce are variables, which we got to worry about now. All right, so now we're going to go reducing. Let's hit up this first one. Okay, so reduce that fraction here for me. So first thing you do, reduce the numbers for me. -2/8. If you can't do it in your head, no shame. Use your darn calculator. Okay? -2/8. Reduces down to 16.
-1/4.
Yep, -1/4. All right, now here's where you got to take over because your calc can't help you. The variables. 6. How many x's do I have on top?
4.
And on the bottom?
4.
They're gone. Right? Same amount on top. All right. How many y's on top?
2.
2 on the bottom?
4.
Okay, they all don't cancel out. 2 of them do. How many am I left with, and where are they?
-2.
Oh, no. You said I had 2 on top, right?
Yeah.
How many on the bottom?
4.
Right? How many am I left with, and where are they?
2 on the bottom.
Done. And how do I write that? Y, not to the -2, just. That's it. Yep. Anything there? Again, we're going to increase in difficulty here. 6. See this 2 on the outside? Hey, you see this 2 on the outside? That means 2x occurs Twice. So I want you to write it twice to make things easy on us here. Oh, 2x occurs twice. How many times does 4x squared occur? So write it 3 times on the bottom. 4x squared, 4x squared, 4x squared. Everyone all right? Why I wrote the top twice and the bottom 3 times based on the exponent. All right, clean it up now for me. Clean it up. Ready? How many x's do I have on top? Okay, so right, x squared. And what do you think I do with the 2's?
Or multiply.
Yeah, multiply. What do you get? 4? Yeah, you're good. So clean that up. On the bottom, how many? Be careful. How many x's do I have on the bottom? 6, right? I got 2, 2, and 2. So I got 6 of them. And what do you think I do with all those 4's? Multiply them. Yeah, 4 times 4 times 4. 64. All right, go ahead. Now this turns into like number 5. So just write how many times you have each and clean it up. And go ahead and reduce. Good. Use your calculator if you need to. No shame. You're never going to hear crap from me about using your calculator too much. I'm not that tight. All right, 4 over 64. 9.
I got 1 over 16 x to the 4th.
1 over 16. All good there. And then 2 on top, 6 on the bottom. So yes, 4 on the bottom. Good work. That was fun. That was fun, huh? This is where I need you to be, though, 7 and 8. Don't overthink my question. Don't overthink it. What is the difference, a small difference from number 7 that 5 and 6 did not have? Just by looks of the problem. What does 7 have that 5 and 6 did not? Very small looking thing here. Don't overcomplicate it. What do you think, Nick?
There's a trinomial in the denominator.
All right, yeah, trinomial. With what symbols? With what signs?
Negative.
And addition, right? Hey, did we have any subtraction or addition in 5 and 6? No, we didn't. So if we see subtraction or addition here, guess what time it is? Factor time. It's factor time. All right, so if I'm asking you to reduce here and I see subtraction or addition in here, it's time to factor. All right, it's time to factor. Let's start by factoring the top. Come on, where are we? How do I start the factoring the top? Oh boy. 10, thoughts? Yeah, and there is, isn't there? What is it? Thank you. Nice. We're learning something. And what's left?
7 minus x.
Yeah. Great job. Bottom. We can factor as well. I'm not saying a word. Come on. The grind is real. Factor the bottom. We've done this last 2 days. How? 10 again.
You look for something that multiplies to 21 and adds to -10.
Perfect.
And it's -3 and -7.
Unbelievable. Great job. So the factoring's done. Any issues? Got to be there. Now I'll take over. How do I reduce this? You can only cross off a numerator and a denominator. And they have to be the exact same things you cross off. Now, some of you see X's here, so you're like, maybe I'll cross off this X with this X or this 7 with, that's not how it works. You have to cross off the whole things. You just can't cross off individual parts of the parentheses. See what I mean? All right. Are these two the exact same? Notice what I said. Exact same. No, they're not, right? So I just can't do this. As much as I would like, can't do that because they only can do that if they're the exact same. But, ready? Couple of quick questions for you. 10 divided by negative 10. What's that give you? Negative 1. I'm really going hardcore now. Negative 137 over 137. Okay. So what you're telling me is anytime you take two things that are opposite each other, what do you end up with? Negative 1. Go back here. Go back here. What sign is in front of the 7? In front of the 7 here? In front of the X? They're all opposites, aren't they? So yes, ready? Yes, we're going to get rid of them. But when I divide them, what am I going to be left with? So I got to make sure I put the negative 1 up there. That's only for two opposites. Real quickly, because this is going to happen to you. Your thoughts right here. Opposites or not? Are those two opposites? The answer is no. Here's the why. Both need to be opposite. You see how only the 3's are opposite? Are the x's opposite? Because you can't. That's it. You can't cross them out. Okay? But do you see how both of them inside the parentheses are opposites here? See the difference? Not opposites. Yes, opposites. Okay? All right. So let's keep reducing this one here. Do you think I can cross off these two x's here? No, they go together, right? You can't cross them out. They go together. What's left on top now? What am I left with on top? After I'm done reducing 1, what's left on top? That's not crossed out.
1x. Well, negative 1x.
There you go. Negative 1x. What's left on the bottom that isn't crossed out?
X minus 3.
As far as you can go. Guys, I know it's so tempting to cross out those x's, but you can't because this one on the bottom is attached with the 3. Questions? We got one more. Go ahead, Aaron.
Will we get points off if we put negative 1x versus negative x?
No. Not at all. And honestly, I put the negative 1 on top, but you could have put it on the bottom as well. Just don't put it in both. All right, last one here. Last one, you can get the assignment. How many times is the x minus 1 occurring? Write it twice. You don't have to FOIL it. Just write it twice. Just write it twice. Ooh, look on the bottom. Anything you want to do on the bottom? You got a minus sign there. Probably going to have to do something. What do we think on the bottom? We've been here. 7. What are we thoughts on the bottom?
GCF 2.
Take out a 2. What are you left with?
1 plus x. Or 1 minus x.
Why can I not do what I'm about to do? Oh, those are the same. I'll cross them out. I just told you in the previous part, if they're the same, just get rid of them. Why can't I do that to this?
They're both numerator.
Thank you. You can only do a numerator and denominator. You can never cross out 2 in the same one. Okay, so that's a no-go. Are these two the same here? Exact same. No, so I just can't do this. But take a look at them. Notice anything? X, negative x. Negative 1, 1. What do I notice about them? So yes, you can cross them out, but what's left? A negative somewhere, whether it's the top or the bottom. Anybody have a preference? I'll just keep it on the top, I guess. Everyone see the opposites. One of each. I can't cross out the other one, just one of each. All right, let's finish it. What's left on top? 8.
X minus 1 and minus 1.
Okay, so I'll just write this. Negative 1, x minus 1. You don't have to do a darn thing. Just rewrite it. And what's left on the bottom?
2.
Yeah. Don't try to be a hero. Just leave it. There's nothing else I can cross out. And I know your notes go on, but that is where I'm ending today's class. All right, I'm cutting today's notes into 2 days. So go to your, go to page, just so you know what I'm suggesting tonight, go to page 11. I'm not suggesting all of that because we haven't gotten to all of that. Okay, so for tonight, that assignment that you're looking at right now on page 11, I'm only asking you to do up to 5, see where it says 15 through 19 odd? Boom, draw a line. That's what I'm asking him to do up to 15 to 19 odd, I'm suggesting. Those other 4 problems we'll save for tomorrow. Okay, so if you want to start that, there's books up here. All right, I'm done with today's notes. Yep, we got 10 minutes left, so might as well start it. So if you want to grab a book, feel free. If you need to take a screenshot of today's homework, feel free. I'll get out of the way. Make sure you take a picture of it before you leave. Answers are all up on Classroom like usual. Should be enough for the whole class, or if you want to share with the person you're next to, that's fine too.